What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the preview for the game between Everton and Manchester United in the Premier League at Goodison Park. It's the first game back, should I say, after the shit international break. We've had a lot of things going on off the pitch, and I'm sure we're going to get into things on the pitch as well. But I want to talk just first and foremost. In fact, I'll do the introductions and then we'll get into it because there's so much fucking stuff. We've got the cynical saint, Mr. Sam McCabe. How are we feeling?
Yeah, almost over this cold, so I can now partake.
Oh God! Don't go on about that. Fucking cold.
But I can partake in a whiskey because you had to go at me last time because I didn't have a whiskey in my hand. So.
Oh, okay. Good man. Good man.
Cheers.
I'll see if I've got any beers in the fridge very, very shortly. We also have the Delhi Red Devil, Shreyas Singh, fresh home from international duty himself. How was it, mate?
Yeah, it was good. It was a break. I needed a break, and it was good in a way that I was able to miss the entirety of the international break. And now that I'm back, Prem football kicks on at the right time as well. Because without Prem football, it's absolutely dead during the weekdays or even the weekends.
Yeah. Have you been pestering anyone abroad to subscribe to our channel, or did you give that a miss?
I have. I tried a lot. I went with our stickers. I tried to post them all around. Got maybe side-eyed by the police once, and that's when I knew my cue to just leave and just go to a different place. Yeah.
Spread the message. Once the Popo get involved, get out of there, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah.
We also have someone coming in from enemy territory today, a long life friend of mine, Mr. Alex Entresol. Alex, first and foremost, how you doing, pal?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm all right. I'm not too bad.
Yeah, as well as you can be for an Everton fan.
Exactly.
I suppose.
Exactly. Yeah.
I want to kick things off with a points deduction because I think that's probably the best place to start before we actually talk about the football. So, how did you feel when this news obviously broke? Quite a harsh penalty, in my opinion. You got for breaching the Premier League's profitability and sustainability rules, I believe, for financial years 20, 21, 22, and 23, or was it? Or maybe just 22?
One charge. It was one charge.
Yeah,
one charge, 10-point deduction. The first club to be sanctioned, I believe, for that. How did you feel when it got announced?
It just felt like, here we go again, kind of a little thing. Like, just when it rains, it pours. When it comes to Everton, I think like there's no let up. I think like you said there, it was unfair. It just seems harsh. Like it just seems not fit for the actual, like the punishment wasn't fit for the actual crime to me. Like as much as we've been run terribly like for many years now, so I could understand why there's a sanction and all that, and we definitely needed looking into and all that and punishing. But 10 points, like it's the biggest Premier League deduction ever for being 19.5 million over. Like it just seems so unfair, to be honest, and just way too harsh. So I don't know. Like I'm choosing to sort of. It's a bit of like a fuck you now in a way that like let's just give it everything. And I'm feeling fairly confident just based off how we're doing recently and the fact that I think there's at least 3 teams who aren't as good as us. So I'm choosing to keep that positive mindset about it and thinking that even with the 10 points deduction, we've still got a very good chance of staying up. So.
I mean, in a weird way, I suppose it's the best time to happen because you don't want that fucking happening at the end of the season, do you? When you're near,
no.
You know what I mean? If you're a little bit near the bottom, you're in 15th, and you've got a couple of weeks and go, yeah, by the way, we're giving you that 10-point deduction. Now you're like, are you fucking kidding me?
If it would have happened last season, they'd be gone. They'd be done. They would have been gone down. Yeah. So this season is probably the best season for him to do it because he actually look like they could probably get out of it.
Yeah. And then
we still plenty of games left in there. So
yeah, we spoke off camera as well, didn't we, Alex, about fucking the kind of worms that it opens with other clubs that got kind of relegated to the thing. And then you think about as well, even the bigger clubs, so like the top 6 or the people who at least who tried to get into the Super League and tried to destroy football effectively, only got fined 20 million quid. You're like, how is this justice? How is this fair? So Everton fans, in my opinion at least, have every right to feel that sense of injustice, and I think that's going to make Goodison Park an absolute fucking fortress.
The only thing you can hope is, if they've been this harsh with Everton, is that they have to come down with an absolute megaton bomb on City and Chelsea, don't they? Because if they've done this to Everton and a 10-point deduction for one single charge, obviously they broke the rules, which fine. That what it is. We broke the rules. We got a fine. Like, I don't think a 10-point deduction was necessary. But like, if they're going to come down that harsh on a club like Everton, they surely have to swing the hammer for City and Chelsea.
You would say if they surely, but the thing
if they don't, it's football. The league's done. The corruption is it's gone. Like, because
I'm telling you now, they won't.
It's not proportional. Like,
I'll be very surprised.
Yeah,
because
it's where the money's
against our yeah, exactly. Like, but if it's like, so we've got one charge and that's 10 points, then surely City just go straight to like the National League or something, don't they?
Is it 1,000? Somebody worked it out.
1,015 or something.
1,051 points deduction they would face.
There you go.
The difference is between them. Everton's is obviously for the financial kind of things, overstepping certain marks or losing a certain amount. City's is for like numerous fucking different things. A lot of the charges are failing to actually provide evidence, so that screams something straight away off the bat, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They've also done the charges they've done multiple times. So there's a single charge, but it's like 20 times. They've done it 20 times, and that's what adds up to the 115.
Certain ones paying Mancini off in it when he first came in, and like there's some UEFA ones, and it's like a load of shit. So yeah, you like to think if there's one single fucking charge for Everton, Chelsea, City, they must get strong punishments, but I don't believe they will. I just think that's the way the Premier League is. I think it's slightly corrupt, to be honest with you, and I think that's the way it's going, unfortunately. I want to talk a little bit about Manchester United. We're still currently waiting ourselves for this Sir Jim deal to be ratified. Meanwhile, we've got 3 very tough away fixtures coming up, starting obviously with this game specifically. We somehow, for the international break, are the most informed team in the league. I don't know how that's come about, but that's stats and facts for you, I suppose. That doesn't provide the full context, though, does it, Sam, in relation to how we've been playing?
No. If you watch United at any point during the season, aside from the Palace game, maybe, in the Cup, you would think this team is not going to get anywhere near the top 4, let alone in the top half of the table. Like, we've been awful in terms of the way we play, but we have got the results to back us up. Like, we've got is it 4 out of the last 5 we've won in the league?
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like, the performances are not there, and we're not happy with the style of play or lack thereof. But we're in the top 4 hunt, and the numbers on the board all look the same. No matter how you sort of get the result. Obviously, we prefer to be playing better. We prefer to have a style of play and enjoy watching the games, because at the minute, watching the games it's like watching paint dry. If I'm honest with you, like, it's awful to watch. But the results are there in the league, so you've got to think, if you're gonna have a shit season and you're gonna have poor performances, at least get the wins, at least get the points on the board, so you can qualify for those positions. And that's what we're doing. We're grinding out the results, and you got to hope at one point it sort of clicks into gear, that the results then start to sort of measure up to performances, and the performances take a step up with the results. But at the minute, it's very hard to sort of predict what United are going to do and when it's going to happen, because we've had false dawns before. We had the first half against Spurs, and then we sort of chucked that in the bin. We've had the Copenhagen game, and we chucked that in the bin. Do you know what I mean? So it's just, there's a lot of false dawns. So I'm not super confident with Manchester United at the minute. Like, I can't be.
Yeah, a famous rapper once said, "I'll pull a samurai sword out and kick you in the balls," and it feels like that's been United's kind of theme all season. We expect something, we start really well, and then it's just like basically a kick in the balls, and we completely capitulate in game. Now, the fact, Trey, is that this is an away game. If we're going to call a spade, we're shit away from home. We've got
shit at home as well.
Well, yeah, we're also shit at home as well. But yeah, away from home in tough atmospheres, we struggle. We also have a few injuries. Højlund is touch and go. We're not sure if he'll be available. Mason Mount just picked up another 5-week injury, which is just fucking crazy. Because I almost feel sorry for the lad. And yeah, it's not looking great. So how confident are you with the attacking situation, and how confident are you will we be able to score enough in the next couple of games?
I mean, considerably this season we've had better results going away from home, if I have to compare it, when we played at home. And I think the situation with United is that it's never been a sort of a team where you would expect them to turn up at a certain point of day. Like if United is going into a game where they've lost two in a row, then they are a sort of team that would max put in a draw or just lose the game all over again. But when this team is on a momentum, like two games they won on a count, or three games or four games, that's when you actually see a much more fluid and a much more mobile United actually going on to into games. Um, I think this point drop for Everton came at the worst possible situation, because now we are going away to them, so they'll be looking to actually get 3 points against us. Um, Having Hoyland out, having Ericsson out, having Mason Mount out as well, it minimizes a lot of options for us. And especially if I have to look at that front three and say, one person who is actually, someone who you can depend on scoring right now, it's Hoyland. Except that Anthony is nowhere near to the level that we want him to be at. Garnacho is also right now not at the level that we want him to be at, starting week in and week out, and expect that, a youngster like him to be pulling us out of misery every single game. He's not ready for that sort of job yet. Rashford hasn't been at it. Martial does have a good game against Everton, but is he fit? Will he be able to hold it out for the entire 90 minutes? There's always a question mark.
He won't be.
Yeah.
I'll answer that for you.
And now that you don't even have Ericsson, who I would say is someone that Ten Hag has relied on a lot of times throughout the course of the season in that midfield, benching Amrabat for him, playing him as the six instead of, actually having someone who is a true CDM in that role. So he's out, which means we'll finally be seeing probably a midfield trio of Bruno, McTominay, and Amrabat. So there will be a lot of changing. It will definitely not be an easy game for us. How will the front three look? How will the midfield look? How will the defense even look? There's a lot of question marks right now around United, and I would say if United is just able to, get certain players in, if Ten Hag is able to work out the problems that we all know are present in this team, maybe we can go on a bit of a momentum rise, but this will be a very tough game for us.
Yeah, for sure. And I like what you say about Martial. If I'm fucking Sean Dyche going into this, I'm going, Tarkowski, flick that French striker in the back and see what he does. And he'll just crumble because he's that. Honestly, I think it was even in the last game against Everton, Ronaldo had to come on, didn't he? Because Martial came off injured within 20 minutes. So I have no hope with that front three whatsoever. Interesting to get your perspective on this, Alex, because if we're to slightly go away from the kind of red tinted glasses, from your perspective, how would you assess United from the outside looking in?
You're just a shambles, really, aren't you? But in the same sense that we are, really, I'd say. Like, obviously, yeah, like 90% of it, I would say, like, stems from, like, off field and what's going on upstairs and all that kind of thing. But I don't know. There's just like, yeah. To be fair, you've had bad luck with your injuries. Like, no one can deny that. But
25.
then I don't. Yeah, like it's a big number, isn't it? No,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just maybe maybe I don't watch his enough. But like I feel like every game I watch, and this isn't just this season. I think like even last season when you were getting, or Ten Hag at least was getting, a lot of credit and all that, and plaudits and that kind of thing. I never really saw like any sort of like game plan or like a style of play or anything like that. Like there was no, it just seems like there's no sort of like, because so at Ajax it was all about playing that sort of that total football, that Ajax way, that Dutch way, and all that. And I just feel like we've not. I don't think from my perspective anyway. I don't think we've seen that at all. Even when you were doing quite well last season, and then like you still had a lot of really bad results last season. Obviously, none bigger than the one against Liverpool. And like I think just the fact that you'd got to the Carabao Cup final and you were doing well in the cups and that, I think he kind of got away with that result a little bit. Like I think like 9 managers out of 10 going to Liverpool and getting beat 7-0 is like it's a sackable offence. And I think fair enough, he'd earned sort of that credit in the bank a little bit, and it would have been very reactionary to to sack him off then. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that it seems too easy and too convenient to just blame it on the Glazers for me. And that doesn't take away like let's get it right. The Glazers are terrible, and what they've done to your club is horrible. It's disgraceful. But I just think you're not losing because you've got like a hole in the roof at Old Trafford and that kind of thing. And obviously it's affected the money, it's affected sort of going after certain players and that kind of thing. But you've still I think you've got the in terms of transfer fees spent like as a squad, I'm pretty sure United is like the most expensive squad.
Just to
I
come
might be
back on you
wrong,
that
but
though,
it's over 1 billion.
it's like
Yeah,
if you give idiots 400 million quid to spend. Likewise with Everton, I mean, you guys have spent
yeah,
what 700 million, something like that.
yeah,
You know, even yourself, you give it to idiots, it could be spent unwisely. You give it to the best recruiter in the
yeah.
world,
No,
you have a
that's fair.
completely different squad. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So we've been
that's
giving
fair.
effectively been giving our fucking niece, nephew, whatever you want to call it, a grand, saying go to the shop, make sure you get bread, make sure you get milk, and they've come back. I got a lot, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
So I think with Sir Jim Ratcliffe slightly coming in, well, not slightly coming in, definitely coming in, and taking control of these operations and actually getting people in who are effective and know what they're doing up there rather than these fucking clowns who've been in charge for the last 10
yeah.
years. I'm hoping you might see a bit of a
It
change
does
there.
sound hopeful. I've got to say, it sounds like the plans do sound good, like from Ratcliffe, and the fact that it seems like there is going to be like a big reshuffle in them kind of positions, them important positions, your director of football and that kind of thing. So that I think yeah, it'll be good to see. It'll be interesting to see
Yeah.
how it goes. But I don't know. Maybe it's just. I just feel like do I want to go
Uh,
back like 10 years? But I just feel like since Fergie's left, it's just been the same like every year almost. And I suppose the constant in that is the fact that it's the same people in charge. So of
exactly.
course, like
Yeah.
that might explain it like big
Yeah.
time. But yeah, I don't know. I do think Ten Hag he is a good manager. He is, and it's good that at least he's been given that time and he's been given the responsibility and the control and that kind of thing. But I don't know. I think it can come across sometimes. I think as a bit of a convenient excuse. It's a bit like listen, there's no manager that's perfect really. So it'd be harsh to have a go and say for certain games he's got tactics wrong or he's made the wrong substitutions or blah blah blah. But I don't know. I feel like there's so many games where it's like. I put it more on him really, and then
Yeah.
even with all that's been going on, like say with like the Greenwood situation or the Sancho situation that you've got now, like everyone applauded him for how he dealt with Ronaldo, but then at the same time, I think I don't we
Well,
don't know obviously we don't
this
know
is going
the
to open
ins
a
and
can of
outs,
worms with fucking
is it?
Ronaldo and De Gea, yeah, because we'll be here for hours
Yeah,
talking about that if
yeah,
we
yeah,
to open it. I take your point
yeah,
on what you're saying, and you make some really interesting points. I wanted to bring Sam in on the fact that I think what Alex says about the squad as well, and in games, it hasn't been acceptable. I think we can all agree on that as fans, and the fact that there is this kind of disharmony, if that's even a word, within the squad. You've got this situation with Rafael Varane now, like Alex touched on, or the Jadon Sancho situation. So loads of shit going on in that dressing room. Do you think he's mishandled that the wrong way, Sam?
I don't know if we're not in the dressing room, are we? We're not in training, so we don't know how this conversation went down, or we don't know if this conversation
Yeah.
went down. We were taking the word of a journalist from the Daily Mail, I believe. Chris Wheeler, I think, is the guy who sort of reported it. So take it as you will. Like, it's a better source than the Sun, I suppose, but I'm not gonna sort of upgrade that any further than that. I think the issue with Varane has been known for a while. Like, we know he's not available as much as we would like him to be, despite the fact that he is if you go off talent, purely talent and the ability, he probably is our second or first choice right back, next to or behind Lisandro Martinez. But he's just not available. Like, he's injury prone, and he's not available for selection half the time. Like, you put that thing in the chat about his availability this season, and it's just like, for first choice centre back, it's not good enough. And say what you want about Harry Maguire, ability wise, probably not there, probably not at the level that an £80 million centre back you would expect him to be. But what's the one thing he always is? Available. He's never injured. The dude is never fucking injured. Like, even he got a suspected concussion against Fulham and he still played on. Do you know what I mean? So it's the best ability is availability, and that's what he's got. And then he has in his favour, Ten Hag seems to have abandoned this transitional style for the moment because of all the injuries we've got, and because we're playing with a line that's slightly further back, he's looked excellent because all he's had to do is clear balls, get rid of it, and then when he's on the ball, he's had the time to sort of go forward into the midfield and pick a pass out, and he's looked excellent. In reality, he's not that guy. Like, if you want to play this high transitional football and play with a high line, he's going to be exposed time and time again, and you're going to see the same rhetoric and the same sort of negativity that was surrounding him last season when we all wanted him out and we all wanted him to go. So there's going to have to be a reckoning at some point when Ten Hag wants to implement his actual style, and then Harry Maguire's going to get exposed, or he's going to bring in a Todibo or somebody else to play that style next to Lisandro Martinez. So I think we just have to make do at the minute, and that's what he's trying to do. I think there was a report, he's picked certain players that he can trust and rely upon to get through this period, and that's the likes of Maguire, Johnny Evans, Scott McTominay,
King Johnny Evans, mate.
Johnny Evans. Well, he's injured, so, and that's what he's done. He's battened down the hatches and he's in survival mode at the minute, which for Manchester United is not acceptable. It's not acceptable, but that's where we find ourselves at the minute. We just have to sort of survive and get through a period until we can garner some sort of stability, because I don't see it coming until the likes of Luke Shaw, who hopefully is back this weekend, Lissandro's back, and people like that come back, and we have a solid 11 again. I think that's when the stability might come.
We're going to get onto Everton shortly, but we'll go in depth on them as a team, etc. And hoping Alex can provide some form of insight for that. But before we do, Shreya, just give us your opinion on that centre-back situation, how you would go about it going forward, whether that's, getting rid of Varane, bringing in a Todibo, etc.
I think it depends on a lot of situations. One, with the ownership. Second, is United actually in a position where they, even if they sell, they can actually go out for a centre-back like Todibo? Because I think even if we go out for Todibo, it would cost us about 30 or 25 million at least. So there's a lot of factors that have to go into it. As I think right now, all we can wish for is, Lisandro Martinez to come back as soon as he can. Maybe when Lisandro comes back, Varane can be brought back into the mix all over again, because we know that, both of them, they know how to work with each other. Maybe, when Luke Shaw comes back, we see Rafael Varane back into action once again, because I think there are certain kind of players that Varane can actually work quite well with, and Varane and Evans are not a suitable partnership, and same goes for Varane and Maguire. Maybe with Luke Shaw, maybe with someone like Alessandro Martinez, he can be, someone who can complement his partner better, but right now it's just not working. And during the Copenhagen game as well, he looked really off, like he wasn't sharp at all. And I think right now, at least for till the time Luke Shaw is brought back to full fitness, and same goes for Lisandro as well, we'll be seeing Maguire and Lindelof, or Maguire or Evans, or Evans or Lindelof. I think these are the centre-back partnerships that we have to get used to seeing at least till the new year, because I don't think Lisandro comes back before New Year, which is quite saddening as well, because I think if we are still able to, able to hold off our own at least till the New Year, maybe, the next year we can come back a lot stronger with the reinforcements coming back in, because we've got a hell lot of injuries. But it's going to be very, very, very tough, especially, with the fixture list that we've got right now, going into games like you mentioned, Newcastle or Bayern Munich, even Galatasaray with Maguire or Lindelof or Evans. it's just, you know,
They're
some,
shouting.
yeah,
They're shouting, Eric. They're shouting at me.
we can only go into those sort of games on the back foot. Like, you cannot imagine United going away to Munich or even to Newcastle and, you know, playing with a back line of Maguire and Evans and expecting us to actually play on the front foot or play with the high line or play commanding football. We will be, you know, playing on the back foot, and that I think that is the factor that, you know, plays into a lot of fixtures that we've had right now, and we are not really able to assert ourselves, and we just depend on Bruno Fernandes or someone like them, just, you know, like 2 minutes of brilliance, and then we are, you know, able to come away with 3 points.
Yeah. Well, Everton have a centre back called Braithwaite, who I'm a huge fan of. I'd probably take a look at him. I'm sure Alex wouldn't want the lad moving on, but I am a fan of him. He's someone on my list, at least. But just whilst we're on the subject of Everton, Alex, I'm sure you can kind of provide me some perspective on this. But from watching, from my opinion, from the outside looking in, seems like you guys had a bit of a tough start to the season. I think you lost like 3 in a row, didn't you, at the start? But then away from home, you've been pretty good, to be fair to you. So I think you beat Brentford, West Ham, Palace, was it? I think, when I was having a look before.
Yeah.
Calvert-Lewin started getting a few more games, started to play more regular after his kind of injury struggles. And then a couple of the midfielders I admire as well. I think Decore's done really well. I think Onana's been fantastic for you guys as well, who might be a doubt for this game. But there is this feeling that Goodison will be a bear pit on Sunday. So do you have confidence going into it?
Yeah, mega. I've probably never been as confident for
I was going to
a
ask
game
you that,
against
yeah.
United, honestly. Like, and I think, you know, the biggest fit, like, obviously we're coming off an international break where during that international break we've had this points deduction. So now we're going into it. I imagine there's been a lot of talk on Twitter and stuff and on social media that I imagine there's going to be sort of protests, going to be a lot of banners and that kind of
Yeah,
thing of anti-Premier League sort of thing. So it's gonna be a hostile atmosphere, and we as a club, like throughout our history, pretty much like, and you could probably say that for most clubs, like a booming atmosphere definitely brings on a stronger performance from you. But I think
for sure.
with us, it's so imperative. It's like at
Well, it
Goodison,
kept you up,
especially. So
didn't it?
exactly, exactly.
Basically, yeah.
Exactly. So, um, obviously that's the main thing, like going into it, like with the confidence. But I just think, like, so, like listening to you, then, like listening to you, Shreya saying about your centre back options and stuff, and you must you name like all these them. You were naming so many players, and I'm just thinking. As much as you know, you've got injury issues and stuff like that. I think the difference with us, like, so yous are at the top of this form table. We're just behind you. Like, we've won 6 of the past 9 games in all competitions. So we're on a very good run ourselves. Um, and I think with us, we've got, like, you asked me before, didn't you, Nick, about like trying pick my 11 for the game, and I said like it's so
Wait.
easy
Don't.
to do.
I was going to say, don't get into it because we're going to pull the graphic up later, but go on.
Okay, right. I won't get into it, but I'm just saying it's easy to pick because we've just got a steady team now, like every week near enough. So it's allowed us to build that, like Sam was saying before about building that fluidity
Yeah.
with your results. Like once everyone's back, like with a full strength team, we've pretty much got our full strength team. Um, and yeah, so obviously, yeah, we had a really poor start. But even then, like we lost 1-0 at home to Fulham and 1-0 at home to Wolves, and got battered at Villa, fair enough. But them 1-0 home losses, like it's probably changed now, but I seen like I think it was within the first 5 weeks of the season, um Bern Leno, the Fulham keeper, and Jose Sarr, the Wolves keeper, they had the highest like personal ratings, like for a match rating sort of thing in the Premier
Yeah.
League. I don't know if it's any kind of like reputable source or out like that. I think it was like that Soper score or whatever. But I just
Hmm.
think I'm saying it because it tells you sort of that it wasn't that we've that we've been bad or anything. It's just, especially at the start of the season, we didn't have Calvert-Lewin. We've had to. We've the problem with Calvert-Lewin over the past few years is that we've rushed him back because he's so important to us.
Yeah.
He's so like focal to how we even play as a team in terms of like getting the ball into the box as quick as we can, sort of thing. Get a lot of crosses in and all that, long balls. He just wins every header going.
Yeah.
So he's imperative, and he's obviously a very good finisher. He's a very good striker. So we missed him majorly for the first few weeks of the season. Now that he's come back, we're seeing now the results to sort of go with the performances, which has been nice to see. And I think now, yeah, like going into this game, we've got so many reasons to feel confident about it. Like, and I'm feeling good. I mean, we'll probably get beat now. Now that I've said all this, but
No, but to be fair, last time we had you on, you mentioned Iwobi, and Iwobi scored, didn't he? So you know, you're telling fortunes and you're telling them right. If you go off history and stats, again, that one isn't on SofaScore, but you can definitely confirm that one. Sam, again, for us outside looking in, do you like how Stone Cold Sean Dyche has dealt with the obstacles that's been kind of thrown in front of him?
I think if I feel really insulting to Everton. Like I don't have any hate for Everton in my body. Like I really don't. Like the two teams I hate the most are Arsenal and Liverpool. Like I hate him with a passion. But I think he's the perfect manager for the situation they find themselves in. Obviously, with the ownership situation they have, they've kind of fucked the club over quite badly in terms of the money spent and the players that were brought in and the culture they've created around the club. We've sort of put them in relegation fodder, which I don't think they deserve to be in. I think they should be challenging for Conference League or Europa. I think that's where they should be pushing towards. Like under David Moyes, I think they got a Champions League spot one year. So I think they are capable of better. So I think in the current situation they find themselves in, where they've got the backs against the wall and they're fighting, and then with this points deduction, that's only going to add to that siege mentality. Sean Dyche is probably the guy to have. That's probably the manager to have in your corner, fighting for every single scrap. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be fun, but he'll grind results out. Like he brought Burnley up from the Championship, and he was I think they were in the Prem for, was it 3-4 seasons? I think.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Finished
how
like
long.
Top table as well.
Yeah,
I
think they got into Europe. I think one year. So he's got something. Obviously, he's not an elite manager. Like he's not Pep. He's not Klopp. But he has enough about him to know what it takes to survive in the Premier League. And even with his 10-point deduction, I have faith in that he can bring him out of it, and they will stay up. I think had this happened last season under Fat Frank and all that sort of stuff, I think they'd been dead and buried. It's over. They're in the Championship.
I wish you had the picture, by the way.
I know. I need to find it.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
So funny.
Was it a Twitter account that every week they just made it a little bit bigger?
Yeah,
and it just got slightly fatter every week.
But at the end of it, it was just like proper.
So funny. So
lad.
funny.
Yeah.
And then went to Chelsea and did he lose every game at Chelsea when he went to Chelsea?
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Breaking records for the wrong reason.
What a shite show that was. But yeah, I think he's the right guy for right now. I think if they wanted to push, like if this new ownership comes in, they sort themselves out and new stadium, blah, blah, blah. I think if everything goes in the right direction, he's probably not the guy. But for right now, I think he's pretty much perfect.
I really like Sean Dyche. Even the way he comes across in interviews, like even the first one, I can't remember your first game was against, but we were on BT Sports, I'm sure it was, and he was doing an interview with him, and he was like, well, there's no messing about. He had his sleeves rolled up, he had his shirt, he was like, I don't care, Bobby hats off, let's fucking get cracking, let's get to it. And you can see that's representing on the pitch, so that, like I said, makes it even more of a tough game. Shreyas, what do you expect tactically from this? Obviously the atmosphere is going to be bad for us in that sense, but how do you see it playing out, do you think, in your opinion?
I think for United, the tactic would be any means necessary just to hold on. Just do anything on the pitch, don't concede, just try and get to the 85th or 86th minute mark and just, cross your fingers, have everyone up top and go
Play
for
well
goal.
for the first 20 minutes, right? That's usually the plan. Yeah.
I mean, relatively, I'm happy that we're not going about that plan. At least for the past 5 to 6 games, we have not looked good in the first 20 minutes, and it has worked in our favor. So, I think might be a draw tomorrow with the way the two teams are going to be lined up, and especially with the way United are going to be playing, considering the injuries we've got. It will be very difficult for us to actually get a goal tomorrow. I think it will be very, very difficult. We don't have the players to actually, finish off chances. And right now, we are not even the sort of team that create a lot of chances. We've got a lot of problems in that back line and even in the midfield. So I think tactically, what Ten Hag would be looking to do is just solidify the back line and just the midfield line. I don't think that whoever, whether it's Reguilon, whether it's Van Bissaka, whether it's Darrow, I don't think they'll be progressing as much forward considering the situation we are in. I think both of them will be tucked in, relatively just trying to, swing the ball around, playing sideways, which we don't really like, but I think that's the way it will be going for us against Everton, because I think even against Luton, we looked good, but we weren't really doing anything with the ball altogether. So
Don't talk to me about that.
I think you watched a different game, Shreyas, because I watched that game. We looked awful. We looked fucking abysmal.
I was at the game, and I'm surprised they weren't handing out fucking hot Vimtos and fucking sleeping pillows.
Jesus Christ.
For the first 5 to 15 minutes, it looked like we had a plan. But after we started just disposing of chances, nothing was just happening, and the ball was just being pinged around right to left, right to left. We all knew how this game was going to progress. And I actually thought that it would be a draw, but it took a Lindelof winner to actually get us across the line. So I don't really see the situation changing as much. And now we've not even got Højlund and Eriksen, who I think in that game were probably two players. Højlund didn't get on the ball enough, which has been the case for quite some time. But I think Eriksen is someone who has been a steady figure in that midfield. At least if I have to pick two steady figures in this entire, 11, I would say it's Bruno and it's Eriksen. And right now, because Eriksen is not there, I have a lot of expectations from Amrabat, but I really don't know how this game is going to go and in what role will he be deployed in tomorrow.
Well, we'll talk about the lineups, and we're going to do quick fire questions very shortly. Just the last thing you mentioned, Shreyas mentioned the midfield there, Alex. Talk to me a little bit about James Garner, if you can, because quite a few of the lads were gutted when he left United. I remember Chivy saying, "What? He's fucking
I'm still
gone."
pissed off.
What do you mean?
Still pissed off.
How has he performed for you guys? He's becoming more and more of a regular now, right?
I remember last time I was on and you'd asked me about him, and I said we keep because he wasn't really playing as much, and he did have a couple of little injuries, so he never really was able to kick on. But I was saying then like how much I liked him, and especially now I just think he's class, man. I love him. Like because even like that our last game of the season, last season against Bournemouth, which we had to win to stay up. He was thrown in at right back. I don't think he'd even played there for us at all before that game, maybe once. And then he went to the under-21 championships with England, which they won, of course. And he played near enough every game at right back. And he didn't put a foot wrong. And I just think
he went right back in the final, didn't he? Did he? I'm pretty sure. I remember.
I think he did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he played like near enough every game there. So.
No.
He's one of them players where it's like he just wants to be on the pitch. Like you could put him in net and he'd be happy with it. Like as long as he's playing, I think he's one of them. And I just think he has got so much quality about him. I like him. I like him a lot. And I
is
hope
he
that
getting?
we keep it a long time.
Is he getting close to? So when I really sort of took notice of him when he played for Nottingham Forest, and he helped them. Like get up to it. Is he getting close to that form? Because obviously I don't watch Everton week in week out, but like, is he getting like to sort of that kind of form?
Yeah, I'd say so. Like obviously, there's he was playing in the Championship at the time, and he got I think he had decent numbers in terms of his goals and assists. But I think he was taking a lot of the corners and the free kicks and stuff like that. He's not really doing that for us. He's not that he's not taking him, but he's not the first choice for that.
Not when we've got Dwight McNeil. He's not taking him when Dwight's on the pitch.
Exactly. But he has got a great ping on him, Garner. He's got a great cross on him, and he's creating chances, and now he's starting to score a couple of goals as well, and it's nice. Good to see. I like him. I like him a lot.
Well, that's very painful for us to hear because it's actually ironic, to be fair, because we probably could have done with him in the midfield. Because I'm just thinking about that midfield situation on Sunday, and I'm thinking it's so imbalanced. I don't know who he's going to go for, but it'd be very, very interesting. Right, shit, my light's gone. Sorry about that. 2 seconds. Even my light got excited there. Right, quick fire questions. Man United or Everton versus Man United, Goodison Park in the Premier League, Sunday afternoon. Will United or Everton concede? I'm going to go around like this. So, Alex, will United, Everton concede?
What, us? Will we?
Yeah,
I don't think we'll concede.
Do you think you guys will? Or do you think,
I think United concede, and I think we don't, yeah.
Interesting. Sam?
I think we both do.
Okay. Shreyas?
I think none of us do.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Alex, will Højlund or Calvert-Lewin score?
Calvert-Lewin.
Surprise! What a surprise!
Yeah, no, he's a big game player.
Yeah. Sam?
I don't think Højlund plays, so I think, Calvert-Lewin will get one.
Shreyas?
I mean, if they have to score, then Calvert-Lewin.
Okay. Alex, one surprise selection in the team? In your team?
Surprise selection?
Yeah. Do you think there will be any?
I don't know. I really don't. I'd like to say we've had such a balanced squad now, like every single game now, other than Anana probably won't play, I imagine. So we'll probably see Garner Gay. So maybe he counts as my surprise option, but he's not really a surprise, if we're honest.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Sam?
I would have said Mount up until the news about 20 minutes ago. But that's gone out the window, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, that would definitely be a surprise now, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see one. Like Mount might have been my shout, but I saw that and I was just like, well, yeah, that's not happening then. So I think, I don't see any surprises.
Shreyas?
I mean, to be fair, every single week we are surprised by this lineup in one way or the other. But
Good point.
with the kind of situation we are in and the players we got injured, I think we barely have 12 or 13 fit players right now. Fully fit players in this team. So I don't really see much changing. I think it will probably be the same lineup that we fielded against Luton. But with the exception of Eriksson out and Amrabat coming in.
Yeah. Alex, who will score more goals this season, Calvert-Lewin or Rashford?
Calvert-Lewin, 100%.
Sam?
How many's Calvert-Lewin on currently?
3.
Oh,
3 in the league.
Yeah.
3. Rashford's got 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Calvert-Lewin at this rate, unless Rashford decides at some point up in the run of Christmas to start putting his foot through the ball and put it in the net. Then
yeah, it'd be so funny if Rashford scored a hat-trick on Sunday now. Shreyas?
Yeah, I think it will be Calvert-Lewin. I think this is Rashford's off season. He comes back next season probably.
Well, he does that. He has one good year, shit. One good year, shit. It's just, it's so bizarre. And then the last one, Alex, who is your prediction for man of the match?
I'll go for Decore.
Yeah, he's your top goal scorer, isn't he? Decore.
He is. He's we've pushed him up this season. Like he's
what are you a DM? He was a DM originally, wasn't he? When he played like a 6 type position.
Yeah, and now we're playing him as like and he's class. He's class. I love him.
Fair play. Sam, prediction for man of the match tomorrow?
Oh, fucking hell. Dwight McNeil. Yeah, Dwight McNeil.
I knew it.
He's gonna. I've got a vision in my head of him putting a corner in, and then like someone like Tarkowski or someone getting his head on it and in the back of the net. Yeah. I've got a vision of it.
93rd minute winner on Sean Dyche runs down the touchline and slides on his fucking knees. At all. Shreyas,
I think
on the match?
James Garner.
Yeah. Again. Also, there's so many stories there, isn't there? Yeah. Oh God. Right. Should we do the predicted 11s then, Sam? Who's getting put up first?
What's number 1? It's you. I'm just gonna
It's me.
realign this because it's way out of whack.
Okay, so I'll run through mine very, very quickly because we're a bit short for time. So, Andre Onana, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire and Lindelof because I think Varane has pictures of Ten Hag's behind us. Something's going on behind closed doors. So, I think Maguire, Lindelof at the back. Reguilon at left back because I don't think Shaw will play. He's only just come back. I don't think he'll want to risk him. I think he'll be on the bench. Midfield, I mean, this is a fucking toss-up. I have no idea who he's going to play. I would like to think he plays Amrabat, McTominay and Bruno, but he'll probably go against the grain and play something different. And then the front three of the goal-scoring prowess of Antony, Rashford, and then Garnacho on the left, I think. Because if you play Martial, it'll go off anyway.
How many goals between those three? Is it 2 goals?
And Antony has 0 goals and 0 assists. Marcus Rashford has 1 goal and 1 assist. And then Garnacho, I think, has 1 or 2.
Fucking hell.
Shit.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Right. Whose lineup's next, Sam?
Shreyas.
Yeah, I've gone with pretty much the same lineup, but I think maybe, Reguilon doesn't play and Dalot starts because for some reason Ten Hag seems to pick him a lot, and he has been doing that for quite some time this season, going with Dalot over Reguilon. So I think that's the only change, except that I hope Amrabat starts in this game. I think there are not really even any midfielders left for us to actually try, and I think these are the only 3 midfielders right now that we've got who can actually play. So I think Amrabat, McTominay and Bruno are going to be the 3, and Garnacho and Antony on the wings and Rashford up top. So no goals pretty much.
Interesting. Next up.
Me. I mean, I've got pretty much the same team as Shreyas. Like, I did have Mount in it originally, and then obviously with the injury news, I thought, well, he's not going to be in, is he? So I've took him out and I've put Amrabat in there instead. I could see Hannibal possibly playing in this game. It seems like a game for him. Yeah. So if you're going to sort of jiggle that midfield a little bit, if you drop Amrabat or McTominay and put Hannibal in there, I could see that. But apart from that, I think that's probably going to be the team that plays.
Yeah, I mean, it could be fucking Steve McLaren in there at this point, the way our injuries are going. It's utter madness. And then last up, we have Alex's team, I believe, Sam, is that correct?
Yeah, for Everton, yeah.
Yeah, Alex, run us through it, please, and why players are starting where they are.
Yeah, so like I say, we've for the past like 8-9 games now, it's the exact same team. So this is the easiest thing I'll ever have to do, I think. Pickford in there, of course. Mikolenko left back, Ashley Young right back, Tarkovsky.
He's scored in. He's going to get a goal. He's going to get a goal, isn't it? That's it.
I'd love it. Tarkovsky and Branthwaite at centre back. And then so we'll have James Garner in because he's pretty much undroppable at the minute. And then it's a toss up between Onana, who is the first choice, but he is a doubt. So I do imagine Idrissa Gueye comes in, and then playing in front of them is Decore, McNeil on the left, Jack Harrison on the right, and then DCL up top.
DCL, very interesting. I think, lads, we've covered every single fucking blade of grass we possibly could with this preview, which all leads to the score prediction. Who wants to go first? Who wants to be the bold man who goes first on his score prediction?
Give it to Alex. He seems very confident in his thing, so give it to him.
1-0. I do. I think he's right in that there's not really a lot of goals in it, to be fair, and a 0-0 wouldn't surprise me. But I just think with everything sort of going in our favour at the minute for this game, I'd say that I do think we snatch a 1-0.
Yeah, I think everyone's gonna have a Werther's in a mouth and a blanket on by half time in this. I just think it's a bit scrap here. I don't think it's gonna be a fun game at all.
Do you know what's really annoying? It's just like we had to watch United versus Luton, and then literally the next day was that Chelsea City game, which was an absolute.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like we had to watch ours and then watch that. Like fuck me.
Yeah. We've got some fucking weirdo in the comment section. I don't know what he's saying there.
Well,
Go somewhere else. Fucking idiot.
All right,
Right.
we'll remove him. Bye. See you later, mate.
So bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on, Sam.
I was gonna go a bit negative, but I'm gonna try and be a bit positive, just because I need something. I need something for United, because this season has been. I don't know. It's not like it's been the season under Rangnick. It's not been that bad, but the boredom levels I have had watching United this season has been shocking.
Yeah.
Like I've never been so bored in my life. So I'm gonna go 2-1. I think Everton will score first. I think we'll get an equaliser, and then we'll snatch a last minute winner, snatch and grab.
Is that Sam going for a win in a score prediction away from home?
When is it? You know what? There's an opposition fan on the thing. I feel like I have to defend my club. So I feel like that.
Yeah.
You know, so when Dan, the Spurs fan, was on, I went, yeah, we're battering him, we're beating him, and then we got our asses handed to us, didn't we? So if Alex wasn't here, I'd probably be a bit more pessimistic.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's very fair. Shreyas, you've been opposite. Well, you've been a little bit pessimistic for yourself. You're usually positive. Are you going that again, or?
I don't think so. I just saw the table again, and if we win, we close down the gap to top 4 just to 2 points. There is a lot riding on this game for us as well, but I think it will be a draw, personally. I don't see goals actually coming in from our side. I don't see anyone scoring. Maybe Everton, if they score, I think it will either be a draw or 1-0 to Everton.
Well, we haven't drew a game this season, have we? United,
Tomorrow will be day after tomorrow will be the first.
No. Whereas last season we was like fucking IKEA. Just
draws, we got draws against Chelsea away. We had a lot of draws last season.
One thing, Anthony Martial does like a goal against Everton.
If he plays.
I will say that.
Well, he's got a fucking 10-minute window before he gets injured to get it.
Score.
So if you're going to do it, fucking
bring him on
towards the end of the game.
80 minutes, bring him on, last minute winner for Anthony Martial, because he likes a goal against Everton. So, there you go.
Yeah. I'm going to go 1-1. I think set piece we discussed before is bound to happen. Dwight McNeil to someone dead. And then I think we get a scruffy goal from somewhere. I have no idea who's going to score it. Probably Lindelof scored it against Luton, so it'll probably be Barry Maguire from a corner as well. So yeah, that's how it is. What's everyone saying in the chat? Have we got any score predictions? Someone said 2-1 Everton. United are winning 2-1. Loads of mad predictions in there. Maguire, Lindelof. Agree with Shreyas' prediction. It's going to be a dull game. I think it's going to be a dull game in regards to the scoreline, but I think, like I said, I think it will be very scrappy. I could even see someone getting sent off, to be honest. I think it's going to be scrappy. The crowd are going to be up for it. We might lash out in certain situations if we go behind. So, yeah.
What's the odds on Pickford to shout at his defence multiple times during the game? He's never happy of it. He's so angry. He's angry every single game. He's like, he's defenders, and he's had to pick the ball up. It's like, that's your fucking job, mate. Just get on with it. Why are you having a go at him?
You could be fucking spreading butter on your sandwich next to him. Like, spread it more! Spread it!
He's so angry. I've never seen
a very angry man.
I've never seen a goalkeeper so pissed off in my life. It's insane.
Yeah. Right, we'll leave it at that, lads. Alex, thank you very much for coming on. I imagine you're probably looking forward to the game by the confidence you have amongst yourself. But yeah, just very, very quickly, give us a score prediction as well, because it's Liverpool City at 12 minutes. How do you see that game going?
I think City lose.
I think Liverpool are looking pretty good at the minute. Possibly a draw, just because City are just unbelievable, really, aren't they? Let's be honest. So yeah, I mean, maybe a 2-2 draw or something. That they tend to be really good games, don't they? City, Liverpool. They don't really ever let us down. So yeah, I'll go for a 2-2.
It's a shame that game isn't after our one on Sunday, because that's going to be a fucking isn't it? Sam, what about yourself? How do you see that game going?
Yeah, a draw's probably right. There'll definitely be some goals in it. And as a guy who hates Liverpool, I don't have a dog in the fight, because if City win, I'm not going to be happy. But if Liverpool win, I'm definitely going to be pissed off, because I don't want Liverpool to win anything ever. So yeah, there's going to be goals in it. So 2-2, 3-3. I'm hoping it's going to be something like that Chelsea City game, because that was fucking
Yeah.
brilliant to
Amazing,
watch.
isn't it?
If I can watch something like that, I'm down with that.
Yeah, great way to kick off the weekend. And finally, Shreya Singh, the Delhi Devil King. What are you saying for Liverpool versus Man City?
I think right now Liverpool are actually in a very good reign of form. Like even before the international break, and City looked a little dull before that. They have had some shocking performances this season in a certain number of fixtures, and I think just right now with the kind of setup that they play with Liverpool, with Szoboszlai in there, I think he's a phenomenal player to have, and I think maybe he'll be the reason they actually come up with the 3 points.
Interesting, very interesting. Yeah, football is back this weekend. It kicks off with that game we were just discussing about. On Sunday, of course, we'll have the pre-match build-up and then the post-match review as always. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend, people. This is Friday night. Go get a drink, enjoy yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you on Sunday for the game. Alex, I'm sure we'll be messaging regardless, either before or after, or even during the game whilst it's ongoing. So hopefully we get the bragging rights, but let's see what happens. Take care, everyone. Like I said, have a lovely, fantastic weekend. Thank you to Alex for coming on. Thank you to Shreyas and Sam as always. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
We want to blaze out, and we want to blaze out. We want to blaze out, and we want to blaze out. We want to blaze out, and we want to blaze out.